And we were going to show you what the turbocharger looks like. Well, it's a piston engine from World War II, Chip.
It is. These go back to the engines I used to drive, well, actually before sales. And this was a P-51 aircraft engine, but this turbocharger right there, the big thing still on the back of them, on the top of the motor, that takes air in and rams it in and gives it massive amount of horsepower.
And this boat is just as fast. The last time it raced here on the Ted Jones Racecourse on Lake Washington was in 2009, and it is just as fast today as it was then. It was very competitive. We're going to have a good heat, I think, out of Jimmy King. Looks like he is parking himself in lane number 1 as they come up to just a little over a minute to go. He'll want to be not going below 80 miles an hour, but he'd like lane number 1, and he can run in lane number 1.
He can run in lane number 1. But, you know, the U3, the piston powered, I was shocked. Last week in Tri-Cities, he went around the outside of a turbine boat. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's going to be right up there, up in front, along with Scott Litticoat in the Les Schwab boat. And I wouldn't count out Mr. Brian Perkins in the boat that you see in lane 3, moving up pretty fast right now. They're about halfway up the backstretch with 33 seconds left to go before the start. They'll come around the north turn, get themselves straightened out. And it does look right now like Jimmy King, a different profile, with that lower profile. He's going to be in lane number 1, and it will be the 7 Graham Trucking 2 in lane number 2. Next to him, looks like it'll be Scott Litticoat, I think. We'll see as they come down. Yeah, Scott Litticoat in the Les Schwab and Brian Perkins in the Albert Lee Appliance. They're at 4, 3. They're a little early, Chip. 2, 1. I think we had some boats that got there a little bit early. We'll find out.
This is probably the most competitive heat of the first 3 heats. These boats are all very, very evenly matched.
And you can see that going through the south turn. Jimmy King on the inside. Jesse Robertson leaving him plenty of racing room, but just enough in that lane number 2 position. And here comes Scott Litticoat in the Les Schwab red dot in lane number 3. And he and Jimmy King are running side by side.
And as you called it, Mark, the start, we just heard from the officials, the start is under review. It's under review.
Well, Scott Litticoat comes through the north turn. Jimmy King still leading through that north turn. And Scott Litticoat turns left right the same time that Jesse Robertson in that black number 7 Graham Trucking 2. But Jimmy King at the end of lap number 1 on the water is leading, and Scott Litticoat is pressing him from lane number 3. In between there is Jesse Robertson. It's still a mashup as they go to the south turn.
Mark, this is amazing. This is a 1930s vintage piston engine putting it to the turbines. It's amazing. It's not luck here. He's just outrunning them.
And he has got almost a full rooster tail lead on Scott Litticoat in the Les Schwab boat. But we do have the start under review, so we'll check it out as we go along and see what the officials determine. But right now on the water, you're watching Jimmy King with almost a full rooster tail lead over Scott Litticoat in the Les Schwab boat. The home street bank, Jimmy King, the number 3. Jimmy King, first place in Heat 1B by a long ways. Now it's Scott Litticoat comes across the line, picks up that checkered flag.
But did he get a checkered flag, or Scott Litticoat? He got a checkered flag, so it looks like the 21 with Brian Perkins is going to have to run an extra lap or get a 1 lap or 1 minute penalty.
We can't see the flags from here. So
there's Jesse Robertson right there. He's a local kid. This kid has a lot of talent. He started off in remote control hydroplanes. Same thing as Scott Litticoat. So, I mean, a piston putting it to the turbines, that's pretty exciting.
Well, our friends back in Evansville, Indiana, who are watching online on Cairo.com, I'm sure are just jumping up and down because they expected some big things out of Jimmy King in the home street bank, the U3. A terrific run for Jimmy King, and he showed him this boat has still got it.
Not only does it still have it, I think he's improved a lot. One thing this boat has going for it is I think it's the best handling boat out there. Let's look at the start. Those 2, you can see these buoys right here. That's the start line, and he's definitely over by a second, it looks like to us.
Here with Jimmy King, winner of Heat 1B, and Jimmy, the piston-powered boat did the job again. You got a good start, and off you went.
Yeah, no, I mean, we struggled a little bit last weekend in Tri-Cities. But the Home Street Bank with the Cooper family is doing everything it's supposed to now. Just need to keep it together till tomorrow afternoon.
Sounds good, Jimmy. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Here now the results in Heat 1B of the Albert Lee Appliance Seafair Cup, and Jimmy King brings the piston-powered Miss Home Street Bank home first. Les Schwab Team Red Dot followed by Graham Trucking, the two-boat, and Albert Lee Appliance rounding out the field. Those are your results of Heat 1B, brought to you by Albert Lee Appliance.
Heat 1B of the Albert Lee Appliance Seafair Cup is presented by Blue Star Liebherr and is presented for Seafair by Kyocera.
The Geico fastest lap goes to Jimmy King at 140 miles an hour, the Miss Home Street Bank. And congratulations to the U3 Home Street Bank and Jimmy King. That's your photo finish, presented by Muckleshoot Casino, the biggest and best in the Northwest.
So there you go. You've gotten your taste of the Unlimiteds. That was racing from yesterday, but up next, cover your ears. Grand Prix West Racing making a return to Seafair, and these boats have some ear-splitting engines. See how these drivers are preparing for today's championship, which is less than an hour away.
We're watching the 2015 Albert Lee Appliance Seafair Cup, presented by Ford of Kirkland, your official dealer of Seafair on Cairo 7.
It's a big world out there. So why do some cashback cards limit where you can earn bonus cashback? 1 month, it's only a few places over here. The next, it's only a few places over there. What you need is the Quicksilver card from Capital One. Quicksilver gives you unlimited 1.5% cashback on every purchase everywhere. Can your card say that? What's in your wallet?
Kubota Tractor and Excavator buyers, take home a new BX25 backhoe for only $15,999 or save $10,000 on a new KX040 excavator. Plus, get instant Kubota financing, Kitsap tractor and equipment. Why pay more?
While some look the world over for the right car, there is one dealer in the Northwest with the absolute best deals and an inventory so large it can be seen from space.
We order the largest inventory so our customers have the best selection.
And our low prices and great service have kept us #1.
Right now, you can get a brand new all-wheel drive Genesis starting at $32,975. Call or visit us today at HyundaiofKirkland.com.
I'm Mark of AARP here at Lake Union to let you know about all of the real possibilities we provide right here in Seattle. Because if you don't think real possibilities in Seattle when you think AARP, then you don't know art. We offer free movie screenings and premieres. Our meetups and seminars help people connect to reach their goals. And we're fighting scams with our AARP Fraud Watch Network. We've got something new here all the time. So get to know us and see all of the real possibilities at aarp.org/Seattle.
You'll never forget your first NHRA Nitro experience. 300 miles per hour in 4 seconds, 10,000 horsepower. It's the NHRA Northwest Nationals August 7th through 9th at Pacific Raceways in Kent. Kids 12 and under are free. Tickets at nhra.com/tickets.
Grand Prix West Racing at Seafair is presented by Hyundai of Kirkland, your official dealer of Seafair on Cairo 7, and is presented for Seafair by Meridian Valley Country Club.
I know what you're saying. Give us some racing. Well, we're going to give you some more racing, live racing. This, though, is a Grand Prix West boat here in the pits along Stan Sayers at Lake Washington. This is a little bit different, although it looks just like the other boats that we're seeing, and we're going to get an explanation here from our two experts. Obviously, Chip Hanauer has rejoined us as we talk about Grand Prix West Racing. And also, let's bring in Mark Allen now, who is our play-by-play for the Unlimited Hydroplanes and also for Grand Prix. Let's start with you, Mark. Grand Prix Racing, what is this all about?
Well, these are just a little bit smaller than the Unlimiteds. They're a couple of feet shorter, a couple of feet narrower, but they have big block automotive engines, and they make a lot of noise because they're supercharged and they run on injected methanol. These guys can't fill up at the gas station, and they are going to be running maybe 160 miles an hour down these straightaways. We have a little longer course than sometimes they usually run. So this weekend they're going to be running as fast as they ever run on any courses during the season.
Chip, it sounds like sort of the boats that you used to drive that have that noise, and that's one of the things you've always said, that maybe with the turbines we're missing a little bit these days.
That's true. One win I'm really proud of is I won the Grand Prix National Championship back in Kentucky. But Jean Thierret, he's a hero in Canada. Grand Prix racing in Quebec is gigantic. And I know we have a lot of Canadian viewers, and I'm telling you, guys, motorsport stars in Canada, like Gilles Villeneuve, who was a Formula One world champion, Jean Thierret is right up there with him in Canada, and it's in these boats that he made his name.
All right, so they're louder, but they also have the enclosed cockpits. Otherwise, they're very much like the unlimited hydroplanes in that way.
They're very much the same. And if you can drive a Grand Prix boat, if you can be a winner in a Grand Prix boat, you can be a winner in Unlimited. And Jean Thierret has proved that. I mean, he's come right out of the Grand Prix, the Canadian Grand Prix circuit, and been a huge force.
He's in the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Jean Thierret.
Yes.
He's a real deal.
So talk a little bit about what we have here today. Who are some of the guys? Who are the drivers that we're really focusing on?
Well, we'll split the hops up. Jerry Hopp is a father of Greg Hopp. I used to race Jerry when we were 12 years old in the outboards, and his son, Greg Hopp, is out there with him.
Yeah, man, they've been running side by side. They've been swapping wins during the season, and it's really exciting to see them. But sometimes from a distance, you can't tell the difference between the two boats because they're both all yellow.
But for the old folks out there, it's been Jerry Hopp that's been getting the best of his son. Now that's Greg you're seeing right there. The way to tell them apart is you see the vertical wings in the back. Greg's are a little bit higher. His father, Jerry's, a little bit lower. There you go. That's a good comparison. There's a good comparison. So they are hard to tell apart. But Grandpa, and he is a grandpa, has been putting it to Greg most of the season.
And we've got a couple of other boats that are going to be competitors too.
These were from yesterday, so this is videotape from yesterday's racing, and it is very much, as we like to say, deck-to-deck racing. These boats are very, very similar. So what do we expect when we come to the finals later on this morning?
Well, I'm going to go with one of the Hopps, but what do you think?
Well, we've got a couple of other guys. Dustin Eccles is driving for Scotty Pierce, who's an old unlimited hydroplane driver in the Budweiser camp, and a couple of others. I think the Hopps probably have the best equipment and the best experience in the Grand Prix drivers that we have here this weekend. So I think one of the two of them will win.
All right, so that is just a taste of what we're going to see here in just a few moments live. Again, that was taped from yesterday. Guys, thanks, and we look forward to the call of the Grand Prix West. Just a taste of all of the action today. We've got F1 tunnel boats, and of course, later on today, we've got H1, the unlimited hydroplanes, those boats that Chip used to drive and won in on a pretty regular basis. Here now are the awards for Heats 1 and 2 of yesterday's Grand Prix West Invitational.
We have the winners of our first two heats of Grand Prix West Racing. Heat 1, won by David Warren in the D's Wicked Cider Sahara Pizza, the big white boat. David, great way to start your weekend.
Oh, we're excited. We rebuilt a new motor. We're excited to be here. You know, our sponsors, Sahara Pizza, Lucas Oil, D's Wicked Cider, couldn't have done it without them. We're happy to be here.
Congratulations, David Warren. Heat 2, won by Greg Hopp in a close race with his dad, by the way, the Fox Plumbing boat. Greg, good win.
Yeah, that was fun out there to have the Fox Plumbing boat out front, and my dad was right there. It was a close heat, and we got Lucas Oil on board as well, and just glad to get the win.
Woo! The winners of Grand Prix West Heats 1 and 2.
I can't wait to see if Granddad does the same thing when he wins, if that's the case. Coming up next, we're going to kick off the 10 a.m. hour with our opening ceremonies here from Stan Sayers Pits, including our national anthem. Seafair Sunday continues from Lake Washington right after this.
You're watching the 2015 Albert Lee Appliance Seafair Cup, presented by Hyundai of Kirkland, your official dealer of Seafair on Cairo 7.
While some look the world over for the right car, there is one dealer in the Northwest with the